Hey Lawn Care Nation, so as you guys know, I received this Milwaukee M18 lawnmower a couple weeks ago. I've been using it every day, all day long in my lawn care business for the past couple of weeks. So today's video, I wanted to do a more in-depth look and test on the optional high lift mower blade that they have available for this mower. Now, I had done this initially on a customer property during one of my lawn mowing live streams where I swapped the blades out and kind of did a test side by side. On that particular lawn, it wasn't growing a lot, so it wasn't cutting very much to kind of conclusively see what the results were like. So I thought in my own backyard here, I would turn off my robotic lawnmower and let the lawn grow for a week so we can get a little bit more thicker, lusher growth here to do a bunch of tests between the two blades. So let's check out the blades here. So this is the Milwaukee blade here that you can see, and they're calling this the 21-inch high lift mower blade. This is model number 49-16-2735, and of course compatible with the M18 Fuel 21-inch self-propelled dual battery mower, which is what we have here. Let me flip this guy on its side so we can see the blade that it comes with. So this is the standard mower blade that the mower comes with, and you can see it's got a little bit of a lift, not a full high lift, probably like a mid lift. It's not completely flat, so it's not a no lift blade. It does have a little bit of a lift there, and then on the cutting edge you can see it's like two tiered, so it's got a high section and then a lower section like a standard mulching blade would have. A regular high lift blade that I've seen in the past and used on many different models would have a really tall wing on the back to create that lift, and then the cutting edge would just be one tier. It would just be like a long flat cutting edge there. So this is kind of a bit of a hybrid. It's got a little bit of a lift, but it also has a little bit of a mulching style edge here. Now, what's interesting about this Milwaukee blade, if you haven't kind of picked up on it yet from the photo there, is that they're calling this their high lift blade. But as we saw when I did my initial lawn mowing live stream and I tried this out for the first time, this definitely looks like a dedicated mulching blade. It's got, definitely has a high lift to the end of it that you can see there, but it's got those gator mulching teeth on the back, and then it's got the two-tiered or two-leveled cutting edge, which is almost very similar to the blade that's in there already. So it'll be interesting to see how these two blades compare in sort of this kind of thicker growth here. You can see some areas of the lawn are pretty thick and lush, and it's been raining on and off today, just light sprinkles and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. We'll do a full test with bagging with each of the blades, and then also mulching with each of the blades. So let's check it out here. Bottom of the deck is clean at the moment. We've got the standard blade that came with the mower. We'll do a pass here, bagging, and then also a pass then after mulching, and then we'll swap the blade out. So I just want to see here, I'm mowing here at, what do we got? 1.5, 2.5 inches. So let's lower it down actually to 2 so we can get a more dramatic effect and see how it goes. So I'll redo that one pass there, or maybe we'll just move it over and do it again in a different spot. So I'm going to lower it to 2 inches. All right, so that's a little bit better. be a little bit more easier to see between the two there. I don't know if you guys will be able to tell on camera, but we'll see. Now we'll flip it over and then see if the bottom of the deck needs cleaning so that we get a fair kind of comparison. And it's got a little bit of buildup, not too bad. Do a quick wipe down. All right. And here we go. All right, so that's mulching with the standard blade, 2 inches. You can see it did a pretty good job. There's some clippings visible, but overall, pretty darn good. Let's see what the bottom of the deck looks like. And not too bad. Wipe it down. So we've got a fair comparison. All right, and now I'm gonna swap that blade out. We'll put the dedicated mulching blade on there. Make sure you line up all those parts and pieces. And then sure I'm on the lowest torque setting here. All right, so we got the dedicated high lift blade on there. So let's try that one out. Let's try it out. So we got this side here. Trying to see if I can see any clippings on this one. And I don't see any clippings. So it seems to have done a slightly better job mulching than the stock blade that came with it, where you can see some clippings here and there. On this side here with the high lift blade, of course you get some when you're moving it around, but there's nothing laying on top. And there's less, it's hard to say. I was going to say there's less scragglers, but they look very, very similar. So let's put the bagger in and see if there's any difference with that. Again, I'm going to check the bottom and see how it looks. And you can see it's actually really clean. Not much there to wipe down. A little bit on the bottom there. I'll just throw that in the bag. Just enough here to mow in the middle and leave 2 little mohawks on the sides, bagging with the high lift blade. So there is bagging with the high lift blade. And we have originally bagging at 2.5 inches, then bagging here at 2 inches with the stock blade. We have bagging here 2 inches with the high lift blade. Again, it almost looks a little bit cleaner on that pass, but very, very similar. And then we have mulching here with the regular blade, and then mulching here with the high lift blade. Let me get you guys a bit closer to see if you guys can see if there's any difference there that you guys. So this is bagging with the regular blade. And then we'll move over here, and this is bagging with the high lift blade. And over here, we have mulching with the regular blade. And then mulching with the high lift blade. Very, very difficult to tell, even standing here on purpose. Maybe the lawn isn't quite high enough to really conclusively tell. Let's try again here. With the bagging, we got some deep grass. You can see the impact gun and blade kind of getting buried in the grass there. So we'll try again over here and see if we can see any difference at all. So bagging with a high lift blade. It's still really clean underneath with that high lift blade. And nice clean stripe there, bagging. So again, mulching now with the high lift blade. Okay, so you heard the mower kick up to higher RPMs, obviously a bit thicker. We can see now that there's some grass being tracked on the tires and some clumps are visible now. So a little bit thicker area, maybe a bit wetter. We can see there. So we'll do another stripe, clean it out, swap the blades out, and put the regular blade on there. So we got a little bit of a circle left here on the grass too, of mulched up grass where I turned it off. Put the standard blade back on. And we can see, again, put that one on top there, is almost identical. Got the high lift blade on top. You can see the front cutting surface is the exact same profile. It's just the rear where you can see that the high lift has that higher kind of wing on it, but then it's got those gator edges. So I would call this more of a high lift mulching blade. But I'm not sure if it's a true like high lift bagging blade. Let's put the original back on. All right. All right. So we can definitely see more clumps. I noticed them more as I was walking with that regular blade. Just more debris coming off the end, where this one seemed with the high lift blade seemed a little bit cleaner until we got into that thicker area where the RPM ramped up. Over here the RPM didn't ramp up, but it did leave a bunch of clumps there. And let's check the underneath again. And we still got a bit of a circle, not quite as much of a ring there, but we have a lot more clippings underneath the deck, I believe. With the regular standard blade. And then now we'll do a bagging test again with the regular standard blade in. Take the mulch plug out. So standard blade bagging test. All right, so the standard blade seems pretty clean. Not too many, if any, dropped pieces versus, where were we? We were 1, 2, 3, 4. So our first bagging test was here with the high lift style blade, high lift blade bagging right there. And we jump over all the way and do our standard blade bagging. And then let's check out the mulching. So the high lift blade, this was the mulching. And then the high lift blade, or sorry, the standard blade mulching. See a bit more scragglers over here. I would say still very similar between the different blades. But my conclusion is that the standard blade that comes with it is better for bagging without that kind of gator section in it. Seems to do a much better job mulching with that high lift blade. in terms of just less scragglers, and the deck being cleaner underneath when you're mulching, when you're using that high lift blade. But when bagging, it still seems like you get a better result with a standard blade, and I think that's because it's not a true high lift bagging blade. It's more of a high lift mulching blade, I guess you could call it. I think that what they're calling it is a bit confusing. It's something that a lot of people have commented on with the blades, that you know, it's being called a high lift blade, but it looks like a dedicated mulching blade. Do you think that high lift blade that they're calling it is a true high lift blade, or is that a mulching blade in your mind? Be interesting to see what people say there in the comments. So again, I'll leave a link down below to the lawn mowing live stream where I did this test the first time, just on a single customer property, and kind of tried it there in a different condition. A little bit drier grass, not as lush there, and you can kind of compare. I did the exact same test there. You guys can check that out as well. But other than that, I think that's it for this brief test on the two blades. I'm going to continue to test them in different situations in my lawn care business through part of my long-term testing on this particular mower. And if you can use this Milwaukee M18 lawn mower in a lawn care business, you know, 90% of my client lawns I use a 21-inch mower on. So this is something that I'm using all day long and putting it to the test here. So if you guys are interested in following along and seeing the progress on this particular mower, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell, and you'll get notified when I make videos like this, as well as check out my daily lawn mowing live streams where I take the Milwaukee M18 mower out in the field on my actual client lawns. And you can watch me mow lawns and ask questions live, and see tests like this being performed out in the wild. So that's it for this one, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.